In my past, I've had many days on which I sat in front of the computer and stared at the icons on my desktop. I wanted to start making new videos, but I never managed to bring myself to do it. After a few more minutes of staring at my screen in hopes of the video making itself, my brain started to come up with all sorts of excuses. I'm not feeling motivated today, one video won't change anything. Playing just 1 hour of League isn't that bad. Later, I can still get it done. I convinced myself to not do it today, and I looked for another activity which wouldn't take me any real effort. I would find myself scrolling through my phone for hours, watching random videos that I won't even remember in the future, or I would just open up League again and get angry at my teammates. For no real reason. No matter if you want to go to the gym, study for an exam, or get started with your business. You know very well those times in which you find yourself just making excuses and motivation is nowhere to be found. I think that, in general, our lives can be separated into two different parts. The life we currently live and the life we want to live. Or in other words, our current situation and our dreams and aspirations. And in order to get from one side to the other, we have to put in a lot of work along the way. And in my case, it was learning about something and sharing it to help out others. But as you might know, it is never that easy to actually do the work, because there's something called resistance in between those two sides. Resistance is basically the feeling of knowing you have to get something done, but not actually doing anything to get it done. It's that voice in your head making up excuses for not doing the work. So when I was coming up with those stupid excuses back then not to make the video, it was resistance in my brain telling me to do it another day. Even though I knew that finishing this task would help me achieve my goals. In short, don't trust your fucking brain. But luckily, there is a solution to this problem called self-discipline. Samuel Thomas Davis explains self-discipline very well. Self-discipline is about leaning into resistance, taking action in spite of how you feel, living a life of design not by default. But most importantly, it's acting in accordance with your thoughts, not your feelings. And over time, I learned how to push through that resistance and fight that voice in my head. And today I wanted to share 3 of the most important things that helped me overcome procrastination and actually get things done. One of the most common excuses I've heard everybody use, and that I've definitely used myself, is that I'm not motivated to do this at the moment and I'm just not feeling it right now. But nowadays, when I catch my brain making that excuse, I just tell it to shut the fuck up. You are a man and you don't act based on your feelings. You get shit done even when you don't feel like it. Do you really think that Vikings felt like raiding the enemy camp during deep fucking winter? They almost certainly did not, but they still did it. They had no other choice, because if they stayed home because they didn't feel like going out, the enemies would have just raided them instead. To overcome your feelings, you have to realize that you're feeling like X and then almost laugh and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? This helps to ground you and bring you out of the state of making excuses. When you, as a man, are not feeling like doing something, you have to go out and do it anyway. Motivation often comes after you have taken action and not the other way around. So you just have to get started instead of waiting around for motivation to strike. It's all about overcoming that very first resistance. That is why it is much easier to work when you've already gotten started. So for example, in my case, writing the scripts of these videos and talking in English like I am right now in front of the camera are the most challenging parts of the work. And too many times I've just looked for different excuses not to do it, but over time I have learned to detach my emotions from my actions. But there is one specific so-called trick that you can use to actually take the first step. I have personally used it multiple times and it has really worked for me. That is to divide your main goal into multiple smaller goals and to take it step by step. Let's take going to the gym as your goal, for example. You first have to make a goal to pack your gym clothes. When that's done, the next goal is to fill up your water bottle. The next goal is to put on your shoes. The next goal is to get to the gym, so on and so forth. Basically, everyone can make themselves fill up a water bottle. Just trick your brain by making smaller and seemingly easier goals when they actually just lead to the same end result. This will get the ball rolling. Nowadays, I don't really need any motivation in order to get started, but don't get me wrong, when motivation is there beforehand, achieving the goals feels even more amazing. But yeah, in my opinion, this is a really helpful tip. Divide your goals into smaller steps and just get started. If you truly want to achieve something great, all of your attention has to be on one specific task for a long period of time. But our attention has become the new most valuable currency of the current modern world. There are no more distractions than ever before fighting for our attention. There are our phones, the internet, emails, video games, social media, and so much else. In order to improve this, you have to remove all kinds of toxic temptations which could possibly distract you from your goals. Because if you don't even have the option to indulge in these distracting activities, you will require a lot less willpower to withstand procrastination. So what really worked for me was to just set aside a specific amount of uninterrupted time to fully focus on a project or a task. So for me it would be 2 different deep work blocks throughout the day. It would be from 7 AM to 9 AM and from 10 AM to 12. And whenever I want to focus on something, I just get rid of all these temptations. So what can you do to drown out all of this noise? When you're in a place with other people, you can use noise cancelling headphones. It's basically a universal sign to people that you want to focus and don't want to be disturbed right now. Also, like, they naturally already drown out the noise. But also turn off notifications that don't require immediate attention, especially social media and emails. Switch your phone into do not disturb mode and place it somewhere you immediately cannot reach nor see it. I literally just throw my phone away. And personally, I have deleted all the unnecessary desktop icons, because if you do that, there's just less things thrown at your face, and in general there's less mental clutter. And in my case, I mainly got rid of all sorts of games and apps I didn't use. Alright, that's it for the main value portion of the video, but I wanted to take the end of the video to personally thank Hamza for everything that he has done for me, and I think for a lot of young guys out there. Hamza, you have truly changed my life and given us so much value for basically for free. I've been following different self-improvement channels for about 3 years now, but before I didn't actually implement anything I learned to my own life, and I was still this skinny guy who was socially anxious, didn't pay attention to what he was eating. I had absolutely no sleep schedule, and I was playing video games and sitting on my phone literally all day. There were days where I literally played video games for 18 hours a day. And it wasn't like a one-off thing, it happened multiple days, sometimes multiple days in a row. And yeah, I was completely fucked. But ever since I found Hamza, I have actually started implementing beneficial habits to my life, and I have seen massive results already. My confidence and social skills are at the all-time high. Like, I feel little to no resistance striking up a chat with a random person. I'm meditating and journaling, so my mind is clearer than ever before. I feel present, and I'm really mindful of the things I eat and drink and just consume daily. But to be fair, I am still struggling a bit with going to the gym consistently right now, but at this rate I know I'll definitely get there soon. If you have been following Hamza for some time now, then you probably found a couple of things in the 3 points I talked about that have roots from Hamza's videos. As a closing thought, I want to say that I wouldn't be here right now making this video if it wasn't for Hamza. So, thank you. Rating an Samuel Thomas Davis. I think that in general, although it what the fuck, and in order need more water. I need more water, boys. Into striking up a chat with a random purple. You want to focus? No, ma ei ole, kuradi, ma räägin eesti keelt. Okei.